Good morning. Good day, good people. How y'all doing today on a good Sunday, football day? Um, every message is introduced to my platform, my YouTube page. It's for the upliftment of humanity. So this is a divine message and a divine teaching to wake up a nation that has or is going in the wrong direction. To what extent? To what extent that you're gonna defile yourself, defile your precepts, or God's precepts to have this world to run in a particular way, in God's way. Everything you see nowadays in the media is evilistic. The minds and controls of higher people that control social media or control the public. It's done more so on an evil level. What I want to talk about today is the children, the kids that's being taught what they taught by social media. I think more parents need to monitor more of what their kids are watching or looking at on social media. This is a platform where so anything exists. And a lot of parents and uh older guardians, they don't pay attention to what the kids are being fed. And that has been one of our downfalls for multiple of years. You know, um, as I was coming up, I'm um I'm a Washingtonian. I'm from Washington D.C. I grew up in Southeast D.C. and I'm now 53. Thank God that I'm still here. Thank God that He gave me another chance to get it right because I wasn't the best. I wasn't the best person out there. Everybody get caught up in that mainstream of drugs, guns, and violence, but you can change. You can make a change for the better. You know what I mean? And 99% of our black young people that's growing up in those particular areas, they're going to be in tune with what's cool in the neighborhood. Selling drugs, stealing cars, robbery. Robbery is one of the most prominent things that goes on nowadays. All the young people that want their quick dollar. They don't care how they get it or who they get it from. They're robbing anybody. So um, and the kids are being, they're in the midst of it all. I just link back when I was a young kid, and I look at the world today and see how much worse it is with the younger generation have to deal with that devil. Have to deal with everything that goes on in the household. Mother and father being, addicted to drugs and they don't know where their next meal is coming from. You got to look into these. Don't forget what this world is about. Everybody is gutless nowadays. Everybody is in their own lane of they just don't care. They just don't care. And I'm an 80, what I say the 80s baby. You know what I'm saying? I came up. Well, when I in the 80s, that's when I was a teenager. I was in the streets and everything. So I kind of like I look back to then and and kind of compare it to what's going on now. The devil, judging from then up to now. they're dealing with an evil that's almost 10 times worse than what it was when I was a kid, their age. Like you could say like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And their demons are way worse than what we had to inhabit because they're seeing more stuff on the internet. We didn't have internet back then to teach us what's going on out here in this world, to teach us about uh well, as you see the young women on public social media, they don't have no clothes on, it's working. This is what these young kids are seeing. We didn't see that 30 years ago. And Lil Boosie had made a comment about our young gentleman seeing what sort of is a fashion statement now. Not a fashion statement, but it's cool to be a young black man in the image of the opposite sex. That's becoming cool. But I mean, like everything is being taught to to the younger generation is basically is it's not it's way far from what God or how God want them to be. First of all, you gotta be satisfied with God, who God made you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta find yourself. And I look into the generation now where so mothers, fathers, grandparents, they still out in the club. They still out in the club shaking it with their daughters and stuff like that. It's just it's crazy how you can see how bad off it is for the 53 or 45-year-old grandmother. They just get the thongs all, not the thongs, but whatever, the thongs all up in there. It's and they are teaching these the younger generation, women in particular, how to be whores, how to be whores. It was like the things that they doing now. It was an embarrassment for a young lady or man to do the things that they're doing now, and it's okay. Back then it was more so of a curse to do the things that they're doing now. It's almost like they're letting the devil in to take over whatever type of lifestyle that they want to live. But in order for anything to change, first you gotta make change. To what extent that you're gonna go to let this certain thing get away out of control? There's no coming back for that. And then the only way that a nation can save themselves or keep that image going is by reproduction. You have to reproduce in order to become a mass of people. And we are so destructive. We're quick to kill each other instead of reproducing and being proud of one another. Once upon a time, I'm not being biased or I'm not being racist or anything, and I'm proud of who I am. Some years ago, we were second class race, second class race. And you look at what America is now. We're like 14, 15% of the population, and the killing's still going on. It's not stopping. So when you want to say genocide, that's something to take into consideration right now, right now. But if you don't take that in consideration right now, then genocide will become obsolete. You will be obsolete from this society And so you have to take in consideration the younger generation that you're creating and what you leading on, leaving them back, leaving them what you're teaching them and leaving them with some type of output or understanding of what their destiny is about. That they make they're making a dominant. There has to be a dominant figure, or being a positive figure for our race. You understand what I'm saying? The so-called African American race. I mean, like it would hurt me to leave this earth, and I haven't taught my kids or your kids or anybody of what the importance is of being who you are. Because for many decades and centuries, we've been told that you're really not. I mean, you was considered three-fifths of a man once upon a time, and they still, and I believe some people don't really know that you're still not considered a citizen of the United States. That's why so many law enforcement officers, when they murder these young black kids, man, they get off because you're not considered a citizen of the United States. Because the Emancipation Proclamation was never signed because he was killed. He didn't sign it, or at least that's what they say. You understand what I'm saying? But like before it's too late, my good people, please start teaching your younger generation, your children, your grandchildren, nephews, nieces, whoever it may be. Bring them up with the importance of who they are and who their God is. And see, why I emphasize God in their life so much, because it's nothing that you can do out here without God. You understand what I'm saying? And that is why we losing the balance of life. We losing what's going on here. We don't even care about the next generation or what's going to happen to the next younger generation. I just look in their eyes and I sympathize for them, because if they don't have an insight of who they are and what their purpose is, they're going to suffer. If we older people, the ones that's scared to stand up and speak the word to these younger generations, they're our future. So you have to reach out to them, give them that understanding, that knowledge that they need to survive, to get past, because it's going to be a test out here. Get a younger generation that knowledge that they need to get by. Let them know who they are. Let them know what their purpose is, in life, because it starts from them. You was a kid once upon a time. You didn't want to go through the things that you went through in life. So don't think that they don't feel the same ways. Most parents that don't know, they sit there and their kids don't have a clue, because the parent think that knowledge grows with them and they attain it through life. You have to be taught that knowledge. And half the older generation, they hate how the youngest is because it's a replica of who they used to be. So they can't stand the way the youngest are. But why not reach out to the youngest man and tell them how you got by? And stop being selfish. Stop hating who you are. See, you see who you are or who you used to be in them, so you despise of who they are. But you the one that taught them that. You the one taught them how to be what they is. That dignified hustle in the street, that hustler in the streets. You taught them that. But you changed. But you still hate them for who you see in them. And that was that person with who you used to be. Why not love them and change them? Because your kid might be the one that get caught up in the violence and stuff like that. So you gotta change them. You gotta make that change in them. And they don't listen, so beat the block up with it. They won't listen. Eventually, if you're talking something good, but they're not gonna listen to you if you're out there getting drunk and smoking weed with them. No, you have a block of wood could point the way, but you must show the way. Show them that understanding that they need. I'm gonna leave y'all with that divine message. I'll be in your ears with some more powerful messages. I got a whole lot to tell y'all. Whoever want to follow me or listen, because this is a divine purpose to get people back to where they know. I got a lot of knowledge for y'all. A lot of knowledge. And it's not about that hocus pocus. You understand what I mean? I love my black people. I love everybody, but like I love me first. God first, then me, then everybody else. God first, then me, then everybody else. I want y'all to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And always remember, when you wake up in the morning, give God the thanks. After He wake you up, everything else is on you. Everything else is on you. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. I love you, black people. Peace.